Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to Awesome Calls. This is AJ. This is September 8th, 2020, and we are going to go over today's recap trades ideas and what I was looking for, how I set everything up. I do want to keep this an open recording, so I will go in depth, but not as much as I do when it comes to secret sauce. I want to kind of go through the setups that I had. As you notice, you'll see, um, you know, many chat rooms out there all playing the same plays, but it all originates here. All these mods, all these people, all these mentors and teachers and people that have been trained less than 5 years that own rooms. This is where they get their notes and then they'll sell it to their clients. And this is where it all comes together. Nobody can make a move until we make the move first. So welcome aboard Awesome Calls, and you're going to see why we are so different if you hadn't already made money. I also want to give a shout out to this gentleman. You know, um, if you don't know him, you should follow him. The great Zach Morris. I mean, this great guy. Um, the other day, I did gave him a shout out just to appreciate, because he does. The gentleman works for free. I mean, he has a great Discord service room, and sometimes you get some trolls out there that whatever the case may be. But I just wanted him to know that traders like myself and a lot of people respect him and what he does for the trading community, and he's always paying it forward. And I just want to thank him for the great tweets over the weekend. And I love him, and he's part of family, and my heart goes to him every day. Okay, so I just wanted to give a shout out to him and get started. I also want to welcome back Levy too. I want to give a shout out to the great Zoom 530 for coming back to the room. He's been had a late night shift. He was working for 3 months. First day back in the room. Round of applause for my man. Beautiful. I love him. I love him. Congratulations to Noel and Zoom 530. Okay, now listen. When you get up in the morning, you got to be, for me, I'm always looking for gaps. Okay, for those that you don't know, what is a gap? A gap is a stock that's quite is gapping up or down. So you just take the previous day's close on any stock, you know, and here is, let's say, for instance, we're getting up in around 4 o'clock, 4:30, we start, right? So um, the stock is closed at 390 on Friday, and we're looking at it, and it's at 374, and then 370. All right, by the opening. So we're down like 30, 40, 50 points. All right, we're going to trade that stock in Awesome Calls. Spro closed at $8, now sitting at almost 13 a share, 12.50. We're going to trade that if I can figure out what it is. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at gaps. I'm just going across the board. LRCX, okay, 336. We're gapping down 316. That's 20 points to trade. All right. Nikola, obviously, you know what happened this morning. Look at this. We closed at 35. We're gapping up to 54. I'm going to trade that in this room. I'm going to paint a story, a trade out of it. I'm going to figure it all out for you, lay it out to get you set up, because in the end, you're going to make money on that trade. It's my job to interpret how it's going to trade at the open. Okay? How is it going to react as soon as the bell rings? Where's the top going to be? Where's the bottom going to be? When should I go in long? When should I go in short? Okay, that's what I do. I've been doing this for 8 years in the chat room, going on 16 years day trading. All right, so I've traded these stocks enough to know exactly where the stock's going to stop, how much it's going to give, you know, the comfort level where the stock is going to say, and I'll show you, like Tesla, where's it going to do? Is the stock going to fade all day? I will go into LRCX and tell you why it's going to fade up all day. All right. Then you've got stocks like OSTK, a stock you've probably never heard of, right? Now, this stock is a crypto type play, right? And we're sitting here at 67 and we pull all the way to 62. I'm going to look at that stock. That's a 4 or 5 point play. I know that there's a history of OSTK. When it pulls, you see, when it pops, it sells off, and then it regroups. It shorts come back and squeeze it. So this gap to me will get bought up and then sell off. And this gap is for, 7, 8 points to the upside. That's money to you. And then I just let it dump for the day. Okay, you follow what I'm doing? I'm looking for gaps. And then I'm looking for small cap stocks that have stupid news. Now, in my world, whenever you see a stock that on my notes and I put the word stupid, that's a signal that it's a short. Stupid means short in our room. All right. And I'll show you what that kind of news does. So what I do is I go to VXRT this morning when I found it, and it says, all right, it says right here, VXRT announces pre-publication of a manuscript on COVID-19 vaccine candidate. There's everything wrong with that story. Everything wrong with that story. I want you to read it again, this time from over here. Read that, read the headline, okay, for today on 9/8. First thing you see, it's a candidate. Candidate equals short in our chat room. That's number one. All right. And it's a study. Study means short. There's no cure, there's no vaccine, there's no nothing. It's just a studied report of, hey, we have a candidate for COVID-19. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but here's our study on it. Okay. You know what? That's nice. I'm happy for you, but it's not going to do anything for me. Okay. All it's going to do is I'm going to short your stock and take you back down to where you were. The problem is that so many people chase things that they don't realize what is good and what is bad. Okay. And this to me is just garbage. So what do I want to do? I set up the trade. Okay. And I let you all know that this push in the morning is going to get dumped. This way, you're not getting caught or trapped in a crazy long because some guy on Twitter says, "Oh my goodness, did you see the news on VXRT?" Or you're not in these small cap rooms trying to push a stock. It doesn't work that way. We're not a pump and dump room. We don't do that. We don't need to do that. We just read the news. The news will dictate, not the chart. In this instant, not the chart. The news will dictate how to trade the stock. In my opinion, this stock was just going to simply gap fill to $5 and under. That's it. What do? You try to locate shorts. You try to go out there and locate shorts. This is where it's crazy. These small cap rooms, if you look at a lot of them, they're trying to trade the big cap now all of a sudden. But the small cap paid chat rooms don't have nothing to trade. But in reality, they do. They do. This is a beautiful $10,000 trade. The problem is they don't know how to read the news. So therefore they back off. It's a bio, it's COVID. I don't know how to read it. Oh my gosh. In Awesome Calls, we read right through it. It's done, signed, sealed, delivered. We've already there's no long on the stock. There's nothing. There's nothing here to justify a long because there's nothing in the news. So to me, the stock is going to pop. The higher it pops, the more I'm going to dump it and short it. Okay. So how do you play the stock? Well, I'm going to take the stock down to 5. So that's automatic, right? The stock is sitting at $5 right now. See that? So in order for me to get there, any pop at the open, okay. Now, if I'm going to long the stock, I'm looking, where am I going to clear the stock, right? Well, right here, you see this base, this support area, right, of 630. I need to clear that. If I can clear that at the open with a volume, what's volume? Half a mil to a mil. Okay. A million stick, half a mil, 800, and another 300, maybe half a mil. I can run the stock 50 cents to $1 to the upside and then clobber it down for a short. If it doesn't, and I get a small pop and lower low set in and I can't clear any of it, then I'm just going to short the stock at the open and set my stops here. So in other words, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, short the open, stops 20, 30 cents, take size, and the stock should come down to $5. So if you took 2,000 shares and it pulled 60 cents, you made 1,200 for the day on a guaranteed position where you knew what the stock was going to do. If for any reason it started to run, your stop would have been here at 610. All right. So I already set that up. So, and these are lower lows. You see how the lower low sets in? This is a dead stock. It's done. There's no long in the stock. It can't even break out. Couldn't even get to 610. right? So then it just becomes a fade and a sell off to $5, and you're done for the day. In this instant, I think Jay was done at the first two candles in pre-market, and then it just sold off, and now you can see it's going right to $5. Let's take another bio play today. All right, let's take Alabo. Now, I really want you to look at Alabo. This is a stock you will never trade. No other room will trade this stock ever. Okay? Nobody does this. It's not even on anyone's hit list but ours. Why? Because Awesome Calls knows how to trade bios. We know how to read through it. We can study it. We've studied it. 16-year veteran. We know what to do. Okay? We actually know what the stock's going to do, where it's going to stop, where it's going to grind, and what they're going to do 2 or 3 days from now. Do you realize that? Say that again. We know how high it's going to go. We know where it's going to sell off. We know where it's going to stop. We know that it's going to grind out. And we know that there's going to be an offering in about 2 or 3 days. This is the kind of chat room you're in. We predicted every movement of the stock before it even could trade at the opening bell. All right. So let's take a look at what we said. Okay. Albo on a pre-market list. Albo. Do not buy this crap unless it hits 52.50. If it does that, it'll top off at 55 and then sell off. However, if this small pops at the open and breaks 45, chase it. Now, you hear a lot of people go, don't chase the stock. Don't chase. In my world, chase it. If I tell you to chase it, that means you're going to get it. And no matter what entry you're going to get, you're going to pull it to $40. So you're going to get 5 points even if you chase it. And then what it's going to do, once it hits 40, it's going to grind. Why is it going to grind? Because the news was okay. It was a phase 3 primary endpoint met. They didn't do anything wrong. All right. So it's good for the company, good for the stock. And so now they're going to need money. I can actually predict the actual area where they're going to need that money. An ATM offering is when a bio company goes in or a company goes in and says, we want $6 million at $40 so we can raise $240 million and put it in our bank account. That's what offerings do. This is their day to try to get as much as they can. Okay. So what happens is the market makers will control the deal. All right. The market makers will allow it to pop, fade off, and then all of a sudden you'll just see it stop. You'll just see it stop, and then there's a range it trades between. You see how great we are? We already know that. We already know that before it even opened traded at the open. We already knew that. So this will tell you, like, AJ, where's it going to stop? 38 a share. So if I cover at 38, I'm done with it. You're done. It's not going to go anymore. Are you sure? Listen, that's what you're paying me for. All right. So you're going to make 6, 7 points on the downside, 1,000 shares, $7,000, and let it grind. Now you're done with it. All right, all right, AJ, show me. Okay. So ready? Ding, 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 ding. Now it did break 50, right? There's no 50 there. Lower low set in. There's the lower low. You scale in short, stops at 49. If you really want to wait, then you wait for the 45 and then you get paid. So here, for every dollar, you make, whatever you put in, 500 to 1,000. I already know where it's going to go. You don't. All right? You don't. You're learning how to play the stock, but I already know where it's going to go. Where's it going to go? 38 a share. And then there it's going to stop. How do I know that? I'm AJ Trader, most talented day trader in the world, hands down, right? I can predict the move before it even happens. Boom. Now we're going to grind. Where's it going to grind? Between 38 and 40. Why? Because that's the area they want to do it. I can even tell you the amount of the offering. You ready? Go back to 180. How many shares did they trade today? Let's see, 500, 4 million, 800. So 6 million shares. They can only tap into about 1.5 million. If they're lucky, maybe 2 million. If they're lucky. 2 million at 40, 38, they can pull in $80 million into their bank account. But you see what happens if this thing dumps quick with no volume, they can't get any of this. So the market makers have to stop it at a certain point. And I predict that point and then let it grind out. It prevents you from going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh my gosh, it's going to curl. Oh my gosh, it's going to go up. No, it's not. Chill. Take a pill. Have a Tylenol. It's just going to grind. At the end of the day, they'll announce the offering and you're done with the trade. Okay. Now, if this was a phase 3 primary endpoint cancer, primary endpoint Alzheimer's, you see the price target upgrades that came out? No, Sammy, and you're not showing it to me. So do I have to stop and look? Why don't you show me? Sammy's saying, "Oh, did you see them?" Obviously, I didn't. There were none this morning, right? So let's just see if they're airing. William Blair, Jeffries. Really? I'm gonna get excited for AC Wainwright. We already know AC Wainwright is the worst analyst in the entire world. Do you see why Piper's doing that? Do you see why Jeffries upgraded it? Do you see why HC did that? You see? You see these ridiculous price targets? You know why they did it? So they can keep the stock up because nobody's going to buy this crap. So this signal right here is an offering. Once HC Wainwright comes in and upgrades any stock on any, write it down somewhere. It's a joke. They're only doing it so people can buy into the frenzy and oh my gosh, it's worth 67. No, it's not. Stock is worth 40 bucks. That's where it's going to sit. And they did all this so they can get an offering. And you'll watch the underwriters tonight who's running the book. After probably 1 or 2 days later, you'll see who's underwriting the offering. It's so obvious. And that's why you have it trading between 38 and 40. Okay? Now, let's do another one. Nikola. Nikola, this was beautiful. How do you trade Nikola today? Nikola was hot this morning. Pre-market, Jenny nailed it. Took the breakout. Whenever you get a news like Nikola, listen to me explain to this. Anytime a company, all right, a company goes out, a car company, a developing car company, a battery company, an EV company, anytime a company comes out and merges with Ford, GE, um, some of these big companies with tons of shares, tons of market cap, okay, whenever they're part of that world, all right, typically, especially a small cap company like Nikola, that stock is going to run and it's going to run big. It's huge news for this is what they did today is huge for Nikola. It's going to finally get them into that $50, $60 range. All right. They've been sitting there. They needed this. This was the CEO was this morning on CNBC. Yeah, I signed that deal. You know, as long as we get somebody on the board, I'm cool. You can do 2 billion. Take it. Let's go. We can start putting our car to work. We'll use your resources. Um, it's a win-win for Nikola. And GM, they need that the car company needs something. They need to really get involved in this. General Motors needs to really get involved, and this was their opportunity. And we all saw what happened to Tesla, and the frenzy going on in Tesla. So if we can get just a remote of it, I mean, this is what we want. So this was a big deal, and the news came out on Nikola early in the morning. GM announced strategic partnerships with Nikola. That's huge. Now the stock is really in play. All right. How do you prevent from chasing the stock? What do you look for? What's it going to do, AJ? Okay. The stock is going to run today. It's going to probably run to 55 bucks, 53, 52.50 to 55. I have no doubt. After that, I think it's going to kind of be done. All right. And then it'll grind out, trade in between. And then over time, we're going to get some upgrades. Okay. Going to get some analysts to say, okay, based off this GM announcement, we think now the stock is worth such and such. Okay, so that's really good. This is really good for Nikola, 100%. All right, so now, how do we trade it? Well, we have to look at the stock very carefully. Okay, we got to look at the stock very carefully. We got the pop in pre-market, right? And if you were in our room pre-market, because you can only trade for 20, 30 minutes before the bell even rings, you would have made money off the breakout on Nikola, right? So this was all done when CNBC was talking to the CEO of both companies. All of a sudden, just ripped. Okay, so if you ever see it being talking on CNBC and the interview, and this is really important. This is why it's important to have a TV on. Bloomberg, CNBC. I'm on CNBC all the time. And this morning, the stock just took off from 45 and just kept going and going. He'd say something, she'd say something, he'd say something, she'd say something at GM, and it just kept going. Once the conference was done, once the interview was done, boom, came right back to life. This is where we come in now. Those that missed the pre-market or couldn't trade, now we come in on Nikola. All right, so now, how do you trade it, AJ? Well, I like to get a pop. If I can break through 48, I can run it to 50 for quick money, which is what I was trying to do. And so what happened was once it hit that, you could see it didn't break 48. And I kind of jumped in too soon. I'll be real with you. I saw they come up here. I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to get it before it gets through that 48. Even though my note said when it breaks through 48, you can run it. But, I screwed up. I just got too excited. And then, whoop, I got walloped. Hey, I deserved it. I got in too soon. Didn't follow my notes. I should have just waited to 48. So then I had to wait. And then I thought, well, let's right here. Looks like it's going to gear up again. Bam, I got nailed again. I'm like, two times. But you know what? This stock is going to run. There's no question. My timing's a little bit off, but I'll get that money. I just need that buyer to come in. So I'm going to be searching for that buyer. Where did the buyer come in? Right there. He came in right there, baby. Right there with 750,000 shares. He came in heavy. He bought $28 million worth of stock, and I knew now we can run the stock. Then I wasn't afraid anymore. Now I didn't need to wait for my 48 because I needed the buyer. Once the buyer came in, it was on. Now I can trade the stock. So I would, as you notice, I was scalping here, I was scalping here, I was scalping here. I made up for my red, I made up for my red, and I became green. Now, some of you made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I cleared 600, but I also got my $1,400 back that I lost in the morning. So in reality, it was like a $22,000 trade for me. The bottom line is I was green and I was patient. Now, as the stock kept trading, I kept watching for the breakouts. All right. And this is really important when you're looking at a stock like this. All right. Where's breakouts? So when I came back from my coffee break, I could see, you see, this is really important to identify when you're day trading. All right. Especially if you're a scalper. All right. You want to see support and flags. Okay. This is a flag. You see this? This is what we call a flag. Okay. I want you to look right here. This section right here. Just right here. This is a flag. How do I, all right? So I want you to, whenever I say flag, picture a flag. Okay, images of a flag. You see, here's the pole. There's the pole. And here's the flag. You see it base? This is a base. That bottom right there, that's the base of a flag. If it holds that, in our business, that flag will break out and take out high of the day. Flag, base, break out. Okay, remember that. Flag. So when you hear the term in the room, that's a flag breakout. It has support. This is what I mean. See support? See the flag doesn't go down here. It's supported. Wait, I still don't get a flag breakout. I'm going to show you, Ray. Okay, so there's the flag. You understand the concept? Now watch the breakout. Okay, so I come over here. Here's the flag. Here's the flag waving. Here's the support. You see that $48 support line? See how it's holding? It's not busting down and dumping. It's supported. As long as it keeps building that support, the minute I crack 50 with decent volume, I can run the stock. The fact it kept holding for almost an hour told me this was going to run. I just need the buyer. And the buyer came in right there. See the buyer right there? Here and here he came in. And look how much he came in. 38,000. He bought a 600 block, $30 million worth of stock. That told me we were going to run the stock. But I wanted you to get in early around the 49 to 40 to 49.50. right? Now we can run it. So ding, ding, ding. So now the stock is building, base, flag, breakout, long, and there's your run. Now, the way I trade stocks, if I'm scalping, I'm doing 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 shares. There's some heavy hitters, and we know who they are. They'll take 10,000 of this without question. Get 2 points, 3 points, make 30 G's. They're done for the day. We know who you are because that's what we do. All right. But for a guy like me, 1,000 shares, 1,500 shares, I'm good. Maybe 2,000, I'm good. All I need is 80 cents. 80 cents on 2,000 is 1,600. I'm done for the day. 80 cents, 90 cents on 2,000, 1,800. I'm done for the day. If I get a point and a half, I'm done for the day. I don't need to be a superhero with a cape. Okay. I'm just here to make a few bucks. That's it. Make a living, be consistent, right? Because once I hit my goal, I don't need to trade for the rest of the day. My job is to help you. So I spot that. Once I spot it, see that 50, rock and roll. I'll walk it up. Now, where's the stock going to go? Well, it should take out the high of the day here. I'm comfortable with that. And I kept saying all along, this should take out that high of the day. And then you have room to 55. But as you can see, I was right, but it pretty much topped off. That's a topping. You see the topping? Where it kind of just, it couldn't get through it. It rejected it so many times. And there was no base. The base broke. You see the difference of this flag here? Well, this one broke support. There's no support. So the flag was broken, which means the stock was going to consolidate and come down. Where would I buy it? If it popped back up here on a flag base. As long as it's basing with support, I'll buy it and go long for 1.5 points. Otherwise, I'm not trading the stock. I'm not going to go in and short it either, unless you want to scalp short it. But I don't want you believing and thinking for a moment, oh, this is just going to die now. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? It's going to come down, put its support level again. You see how it keeps holding that support? And then probably curl around and start heading back up again. If it breaks this support, then you have room to take this down to about $45 a share to close out. And that's how I spotted the flag breakout. All right. So that was a great trade right there. Now, let's go into a couple things. Tesla. How did this work? And I want to just give a shout out to Ripster and PJ for giving me nods on that trade on Twitter. Thank you so much. That was really dope. But let me show you this one. Okay, this is all about being a seasoned professional day trader, not a child, a seasoned professional day trader. This is when all the chat rooms just sit back and go, okay, tell us how you're going to trade it, and we will trade it the way you tell us. And then we will take all the credit on all the chat rooms. Okay. Tesla. This stock is already gapping down. It closed 390 and it's sitting here in pre-market at 5 o'clock in the morning at 351. We are down 40 points. 40 points minimum. We are down 40 points. Okay. In the world of AJ, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I know I can get 10 to 20 points on the trade. It's automatic for me. I knew this, man, if it gapped down, the more it pulls, the more I'm going to make. Now, why is it down? You got to ask yourself the question. Everyone involve themselves and say, why did it come down? Well, unfortunately, they didn't make the S&P 500. That whole entire run that was running to 2,000, 2,200, 2,500. It was all this idea that they were going to hit the S&P 500, which was going to be great for the company, great for shareholders. But guess what? They do the split. The brother takes out more. He has bad news because he's withdrawing money. People are cashing out. Directors are cashing out. And then they don't hit the S&P. Kind of timing there, don't you think? But the stock was going to get hit. Now, what you have to understand, this is really important to day trading, is never think that a stock's going to zero. A lot of you, when you day trade, a lot of you, especially new to the game, you always say this one thing, but how low will it go? Where's it going to go? And then you know what you do? You end up going to iHub. You end up going to Twitter. You start going to Twitter instead of paying attention to the professional day trader in the chat room who's calling out the play. You're all over the place. Well, this guy said this, and this guy said that, and this guy said that. Okay, in our world, okay, we're the guy. We're it. All right, this is the place. So we don't care what anybody else thinks out there. It's irrelevant to us. So you're in a room that you just have to pay attention to the man who's telling you what to do with it. Okay, Tesla's not going to zero. Is it going to get hurt today? It's obvious. It's already down 40 points. How much more can it go? In my world, when I came in, I looked at it, I said, if we snap 350, we probably drop 15 more points, 10 to 15, and I think we get a nice rip and everyone can make their money. Okay? Because it's not going to zero. There's only so much it could go down with the market only being down. Listen to me carefully now. Listen to my words. The market's only down 200 points at the open. The market isn't down 6,000. It's not down 1,000. We're not a limit down. All right. We're down 200, 300 points. So when the market's down 200 to 300 points, we're only going to come down a little bit more before what? Before shorts cover. I'm not talking fresh buyers coming in. I'm talking shorts will cover. Who are the short sellers? Last 5 days, building positions here, here, and here. Especially when they didn't make the S&P 500. Now everyone wants to short the stock, right? So now you're gapping down in the morning, right? Already 40 points. You're 40 points in the money, retail, right? And if AJ's right and it pulls another 15, man, you're down 50 points on Tesla. Payday. 1,000 shares, 50 grand. Woo! What a day to wake up, right? So shorts are going to want to cover. They're going to want to cover as soon as it yanks. So it's going to get a quick yank, and then short's going to come in there and squeeze it. They want to get out. They want to get paid, right? Now, what's the other thing that I look for? Okay, what's the other thing I look for? In the morning, up to right here. Hey, what do you see? What do you see? Opening bell right there, right? What do you see? There's no downgrades. There's no downgrades. Goldman Sachs isn't coming out and saying this is worth 300. There's no B of A coming out. There's no downgrades. So if you're a short seller and you shorted at 370, 375 on Friday, where, where, how much more could it go? How much more could it go? Right? All right. It's not going to zero. And no analyst is coming out and saying it's going to go to 200. Holy crap. So once I see that and nobody's talking about it, okay, we're going to get a yank. We're going to get some scared money get out. We're going to pull 10, 15, and then we're going to pop. How do I know that? I'm a seasoned 16-year veteran trader. I can gauge how far a stock's going to pull down, especially a Tesla. Could be NVIDIA, could be SHOP, it could be Zoom, it could be LRCX, it could be W. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. All right. All I know is the stock is going to stop at some point and shorts will come in and cover. My job is to identify where it's going to stop. How do I set it up? Okay. Traders, if Tesla pulls and snaps 350 at the open, chase it. There's that word again. He said chase it. Means just throw in any number on the short. 500 shares, 200 shares, 600 shares, 500 shares, 1,000 shares, 2,000 shares. Doesn't matter. Chase it. Because you're going to drop 10 to 15. Then you're going to bottom and you're going to scream 20 points to the upside and you're done with the trade. I'm not thinking any more than the first 30 minutes how that's going to trade. Once it hits my 20-point pop, I don't care if it sells off the rest of the day. I accomplished my goal. I anticipated it's going to pull Shorts are going to cover and rip to the upside. Now let's trade the stock. Ding, 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 ding. It pops a little bit, gearing up. Snaps 350. Bam. Snapperoo. Now you go in and chase it. Put in your money. 200 shares, 400 shares, 600 shares, 1,000 shares. 10 points. Cover. You're done for the day. You missed the move. Darn it. I couldn't short it. Couldn't sell it. What? 10, 15, 12, 13. Oh, traders, basing 335. There it is. Scale in long. Scale in. What does that mean? Doesn't mean take full size. It means take a piece. 25 shares, 50 shares, 100 shares. Give the stock a little room to breathe. It's forming a base. It's forming a curl. It's getting ready to make its move. All right? Relax. Take an Advil. Chill. Let it. It's already pulled enough. Now we're shorts are going to come in there and squeeze it now. Cover their positions. Right? 700,000 covered. 760. 1.5 million shares covered at 335, 336 area. Now we're going to get the rip. There's your rip. All right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 20 something. And you're done for the day. It would have been stupid of me to go in once it breaks 3 VMD. The stock should go all the way down to 0. I saw one guy that copies my notes. He goes, how do I change my notes to look like his? He goes, once it snaps 340, wait for it, and then go long. Wait for it? What do you mean wait for it? What are you waiting for? You can't tell a trader, wait for it. What are you going to take credit because it moved up now? Because you said wait for it? Or I love these new ones. These newbies out there. Worth watching. If it pulls at the open, it's worth watching. Man, here's your slap. That's on your face. Get out. Go trade penny stocks. Worth watching. I'm not worth watching. I'm trading it. I'm telling you exactly where it's going to stop, exactly where it's going to make its move, exactly where shorts are going to cover. Why? Because I've been trading Tesla for 10, 15 years. First 5, 6 years? Lose, 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 lose. I don't lose no more. I execute. I know exactly how this stock is going to play out. It takes years to understand this stock. For you guys, and for you ladies, you don't have years. You have weeks and months to understand this stock. So I have to keep teaching you and teaching you and teaching you and teaching you. Stock's not going to 0. It's not going to 250. It's not going to go to 200. It's not going to go to somewhere some guy on Twitter said, man, it's going to sell off all the way all down. You don't know. Only Act Chap knows. Okay? It's going to stop. Bottom curl. Shorts cover. Go long. 5, 6, 7,000 shares. 2,000 shares. 500 shares. 300 shares. 50 shares. It don't matter. Now you get your points. 5, 10, 15, 20. Have a nice day. Simple as that. Tesla's still stock not going to 250 prior to battery. I'm not going to even answer that. It's irrelevant to me. I'm a day trader. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and estimate what's going to do in 12 months from now. It's not my job. Okay, one last one. I want you to look at this one. Wayfair. Why did I long Wayfair this morning? Why was Wayfair long? Can anybody answer that? Okay, Wayfair is not a tech company. They got nothing to do with, they didn't do anything wrong. They're just kind of caught in this market just bubble and pull in. Wayfair, I mean, I don't know if you notice, but every time you open up a Yahoo, Wayfair's there. I ordered one item from Wayfair. I think it was a rug. I get 70 beeps a day. Oh, we have a sale on this, a sale on this. And sometimes when I'm thinking something, they send me an email on something I'm thinking. Like, man, these people are programmed. I mean, Wayfair, they just know how to, sell. They're like the Amazon out there. So, but they sell and they sell and they sell. You know what I mean? And I love Wayfair. I love it. But I want you to understand Wayfair. How does it trade? Well, when Wayfair sells off aggressive, it usually gap fills or pops. Let me repeat that. If Wayfair sells aggressive, they usually short cover and pop. Okay? If Wayfair oversells, they usually pull, gap fill, and pop. Just depends on how far they on. Look at the last couple of days. If Wayfair pulls, gaps down, they usually short cover and pop. Okay, so you did that on Friday. Now here we are. Yeah, it pulled. What's it going to do? What's Wayfair going to do? It's going to gap fill and pop. It already dictated to you what the stock was going to do. Just none of you saw it. I did, and I understand the stock. We're already down 300. Wayfair had nothing to do with the market pulling. They probably did massive numbers. So you know what we're going to do? I want to nibble long around 248. I do. I want to nibble long in pre-market. 248. Thank you, Janny. I want to go right around here, this 248 area. I want to nibble that. If it pulls to 240, now a lot of you are looking, man, you're asking me to pull all the way 8 points. Traders, it doesn't matter if it pulls 8. Add. I didn't ask you to go full size at 248, did I? I said take some at 248, give it room to 240, have a 244 average. In the end, this was going to short cover squeeze. I know this. You don't. I know it's going to squeeze. It's going to gap fill, and it's going to be beautiful. Start with 25 shares. Start with 50 shares. If it pulls 6, 7, 8 points, what are you down? $200? $400? $300? $150? Add. Once it pops, you're green again. Okay? All it takes is one pop. Look at this trade right here. Assuming you had 248 right there, pre-market, like I asked you, like I begged you, like I wrote down, and it also the bell ring, pull, and it's like blink of an eye, it popped right back. You're not even red, and all of a sudden, what happens? Bam, 255 a share. Guess what? You just made 7 points. Do you believe that? You just made 7 points in 4 minutes. Actually, in 3 minutes. Look at the time lock. 6:33, you were done. If you had 100 shares, you made $600. Market order in, market limit order in, market order out, because it's the opening bell. Take what it gives you. Now, if you stayed in it, you got the full pop, 270. Now, did I anticipate at 270? I was more comfortable at 255, 260. Isn't 12 points enough for you? But the fact another candle came in, even if you tried to sell it, you would have got that third candle, and you would have probably sold at 265 for a beautiful, almost 18-point play. 50 shares, 18 points, $900. I love Wayfair. I can go on and on. NVIDIA, Shop, Zoom, Docu. They all gap it down. They all hit my targets. They all going to pop. For all of you in here, all of you that joined us, all of you are part of us. It's a process. You're not going to learn it in one day. You're not going to learn it in 1 week. You know, you're not going to learn it in a month. But all I can tell you is you're going to be a better trader every day you're in here if you give the room a chance. If you're looking for somebody, as the great Zach says, to wipe your butt, this isn't your room. We don't wipe butts in here. Our job is to help you to identify a great setup, learn what the stocks are going to do, how they react to the market conditions, and then apply what you've learned and then attack the stock with the amount of shares you're comfortable with. The most important thing is to be green. I don't care if you're green for $2. I don't care if you're green for $6, $30, $100. Green is green regardless of the amount. You don't come in here and you're trading red. The most important thing too when you're trading, ask questions. If you're stuck in the stock, let me know. I will tell you, I'd be out of that. Wait for another shot at it. You'll get your turn. All right. You watched me today take losses on Nikola and OSTK. But each time I realized that stock was going to do what I wanted, my timing was a little bit off. So going back in there, like on OSTK, I was right. In the end, I was right. I should have stuck to my gun. But because I was trading Tesla, I missed the 64 long on OSTK. If I had started with OSTK long with 1,000 shares and only traded and didn't trade Tesla, I would have been done for the day. All it took was 2 points. Look, right at the opening bell, 64, 1,000 shares, rip, sell it at 66.50, $2,500. Done for the day. I knew OSTK was going to pop. I knew exactly where to long it. I've been trading OSTK for what, 5 years? I know exactly how this stock trades. I know when it's down quite a bit, the stock usually will squeeze, shorts will cover at the open. I anticipated that, and that's why I called for the long at 64. If I had just focused on this, I would have made a couple G's. I'm done for the day. On the first candle, I would have been done in 90 seconds of the opening bell. The biggest problem you're going to have are two things in awesome calls. Too much money left on the table. Okay? You're going to leave too much money on the table. Stocks are going to keep flying, but as long as you get a piece of it, that's all that matters. And the other thing is, it's a smorgasbord. It's a buffet, as the great Palmer says. It's a buffet of some of the greatest ideas out there for today for us to trade. Now, there's another 1,000 or 500 more ideas. That's great. But if you go through a lot of these rooms, they're all trading off our list. 20 rooms came from here, so they're going to trade off our list. And the majority of them follow those people. So the issue for you, it's just a matter of what's your price target? What do you like to trade? $5 stocks, $10 stocks. Do you like to go short? Do you like to go long? What's your preference? Do you like, bio trades? You have to learn over time. You know, what if you OSTK you wanted to take profits 3 points instead of two? That's up to you. Manage your trade. All right. You manage your trade. It's like a checkbook. If you're up $400, is that enough for you? If you're up $300, is that enough for you? What's your daily goal? If your daily goal is $200 or just to turn green, then why are you waiting for 3, 4, 5, 6 points? You have to have a goal and a realistic one. Don't come in the room and go, "Oh, I want to make 1,000 a day." Okay, when's the last time you made that? Never. How's that realistic then? What, you just magic? You're going to make 1,000 a day? What's your goal? What's the most you've made? What's the most you made in day trading? And I'm talking for a newbie. What's the most you made? $500, $400, $1,000? All right, do a third of that and set that as your goal for 3 to 6 months. Once you hit that goal, you're done. If you did it in the first 30 seconds, 90 seconds, you're done. Did you see me make a trade ever since this morning? Ever since 7:10 or 12 or 10:10 East Coast time? I'm not over trading. I don't need to do that. I hit my goal. I'm done. I respect my money. All right. So don't worry. Be glad that the stocks can go 6, 7, 8 more points higher. Be glad that you're in a room that can do that. So if you missed the initial move, like I did, you could still make money. Oh, this is going to break out. I'll go long here. How do you think I made up all my loss? Right? I could have kept going right here. I told you 4 times to take that trade. When it started to break out, I go long here, long here, long here, and long there. I could have done any of those trades and I wouldn't be down 300. But I hit my goal. I exceeded my goal by 2 times the amount. There's no reason for me to trade. Right or wrong, I don't need to. Hit your goal, be realistic, move on. Tomorrow's another day. Okay? That is today's live webinar recap for September 8th, 2020. If you want to join our room, click the button and voila, you are a part of Awesome Calls. This is the website. And you scroll down and that's our strategy session I have. And then here is our day, week, month, and 6 months, 2 years, and annual. Okay? Whew, what a day. Thank you for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.